252.
Hey, welcome to another episode of 252. Frank G here along with
Johnny Blaze,
Ralphie D,
and I'm Coolwater Kurt.
Our subject for today is those classic holiday specials you remember from mostly the 70s, actually, when we look at the list. There was a lot in the 80s and, of course, the 90s, but the 70s seem to be the ones that stuck with us. Who wants to lead this one off, guys?
Well, should we start up with the Chipmunk Christmas?
You know what? I think we had, because that one actually was in the 80s. So you got a Chipmunk Christmas. The one thing that the one thing about that one that was that the one that had the guy who the original creator of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I think he.
I know they were an associate with Chuck Jones Enterprises, which was always weird because their animation was always a little bit off to me, but I still liked it.
I just like Christmas time is here. Time for toys.
I used to despise that song, and at some point in my life, it actually grew on me.
We've good, but we can't last.
You ever play a Chipmunks record at the wrong speed? Like, play the 45 at 33, you can hear the actual guys sing. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if you play it, it sounds like...
Satan?
No.
Oh, if you play it even faster, it just sounds like, bugs or something.
But big props, big ups to the voices of Alvin, Simon, Theodore, even Dave. You know what I'm saying? They kept me entertained back then.
And I like that one because that was the one that they kind of brought back even when they did the live action movies. That Christmas special, they took scenes from that to put in.
Movie.
This was the 80s Chipmunk Christmas too, where it was based around the characters from the series that we were getting on Saturday mornings, right?
Yes.
Where they were a little more like rockin', and they were sort of like an 80s band as opposed to the earlier
loved
cartoon.
The intro to that one.
I was a big fan of that show. I was really into it when it was on.
We are the Chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
Yeah, I remember the Christmas special. I'm sure I watched it.
Frightening crush on at
remember
least two of those Chipettes, man.
It's probably illegal in most states, but very legal in some states.
Well, ask Richard Gere. There's only so many.
I don't know. A chipmunk is a lot bigger than a gerbil, bro.
Yeah, that's a gerbil.
It's a lot bigger.
I held this uncomfortable chipmunk up my ass for 3 years.
That was good.
Yeah, that's good.
Anything else? What else kind of springs out?
A Pulp Fiction Christmas. They missed that. Tarantino, get on that. I would watch that.
You know what? I can't get past this. It came out in 77, but the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Ooh, we're going to jump to that?
Yeah.
Let's get it out of the way right away.
Live action Star Wars on TV.
Do you know what? It actually scared the crap out of me when the little Wookiee kid was playing with his toys, watching TV, and the stormtrooper stuck his face in the window, and they busted in on him. I freaked. I had nightmares about that.
Would you believe me if I told you that I have actually never seen a Star Wars Christmas?
I would believe it because, it played once, and then it was shelved, and then it lived in infamy.
It was really missing for a long time until the internet. Now you can watch it in as clear as you can possibly get it on YouTube, but
in its entirety with commercials, retro commercials.
The commercials are the best part.
Yeah, I enjoyed the cartoon with Boba Fett. That was the only decent part of that special. Yeah, the rest of it was terrible.
If you watch that cartoon now, check out there's the animated Han Solo in the little bit there. And he looks almost exactly like what's his face, Adam Driver. He's like, wow, animated Han Solo. You can see the resemblance with Kylo Ren. Real life Han Solo, not so much. So I think they cast based on the animated appearance.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Star Wars lore, that animated Boba Fett, that actually was the first appearance of Boba Fett before.
Well, actually, it's not true. Yeah. I went online and did some research. There was this Boba Fett Uber fan. Apparently, before Star Wars even came out, Ralph McQuarrie, one of his original drawings was the Boba Fett outfit. Mm-hmm. Lucas said, "This is great, make it." They made the costume. They had no idea what they were going to do with it. And there was some kind of fair outside of the ranch where they had some kind of street fair every year, and they dressed up two guys, one is Darth Vader, one is Boba Fett, and go out and wave.
Wow!
And there was actually a photo on the website of the two guys waving.
Boba Fett was all white. Was that?
I don't know. It was a black and white photo, but it was. They say that was the actual first public appearance.
The first.
Wow, that's pretty good. I like
that is deep cut Star Wars.
But you could only see that if you were there. You know,
right.
The first appearance for most people was the Christmas.
The holiday special.
So was that cartoon? Was that Ralph Bakshi?
No, that didn't look like. Bakshi was into rotoscoping. He used to film actors and trace over it on the cells.
Right.
And it's obvious if you watch his movies.
Yeah, I know, but it's got that look. If you see stills of the Boba Fett cartoon, it looks like Bakshi to me. Or the Bakshi boys.
Okay, Frank, so with that being said, so what was your first or your earliest memory? Not your technically your first, but what do you remember as that holiday special that you saw?
It was probably Charlie Brown or possibly Bugs Bunny. They used to kind of tag team those together a lot on CBS.
Was it like the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, that one, or
Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown Christmas, or possibly like Bugs Bunny in Space or something? I remember him. They compiled all the Marvin the Martian and stuff, and all that stuff. Probably like maybe 1976 is the first one I can remember standing up by the TV and going, "Oh, cartoons."
Oh, at night. Yeah, this is awesome.
I think for me, it has to be a toss-up of either the Frosty the Snowman cartoon or that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion. I feel like that one, because that one actually, it was the 60s, right?
Yeah, it's when they came
late 60s.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the 60s or something like that?
Yeah.
And then, if I can remember correctly, there was like, with that, like, that was played on, like, I think it was, like, was it CBS?
Yeah, the Rankin Bass Productions.
Rankin Bass is awesome.
Yeah.
They're the ones that did Thundercats later on. They are just a great production company. I'm sorry they ever folded. I loved all their specials.
Definitely. I love the Thundercats.
I love
Speaking of all that, you know what scared the crap out of me back then was the Hobbit special. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, that was Rankin Bass.
That was scary.
That was animation, though, right? That was I remember animated.
And Ralph Bakshi had the rights to the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers. He did that, called it Lord of the Rings, and then Rankin Bass did the Return of the King. But they were all three animated, but Lord of the Rings was rotoscoped.
Yeah, always weird looking when I saw those as a kid. They were scary. They're almost as scary as Watership Down. Remember that one?
I do not remember.
With the rabbits?
No.
Frank, you know what I'm saying. The Watership Down. Oh my God, that was scary.
I can't think of
a
his
lot
name.
of that stuff wasn't really for kids, but yet we were given it anyway because it was animated,
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
they knew Fritz the Cat was not for us, but
yes, Fritz the Cat definitely was not. I think they were smoking weed, right?
They were smoking weed. They were having
drinking.
sex.
I was having sex.
Yeah,
I remember
it was racist.
I remember watching Fritz the Cat. I was like,
isn't that Crumbs? One of Crumbs' comics, Fritz the Cat? Yeah, he didn't write for children.
No. And I was definitely a child when I saw that. I think I felt like I saw a double feature, Fritz the Cat and Heavy Metal, and I was just like, what's going on here?
Were you in that same bike shop as Dudley and...
No, it's just when parents used to go to drive-ins and not give a crap.
Yeah, keep the kids entertained with this crap on the screen. Oh, yeah. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Don't watch this screen here. You read a book in the back seat or whatever. Yeah, okay.
Because I know actually because Rudolph was also packaged with Charlie Brown Christmas and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yeah. All those shows kind of came on. I remember they was kind of like all on a rotation.
CBS was kicking butt back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for kids, man, that was the best.
Sure.
Dr. Seuss specials. Charlie Brown, Rankin Bass. I mean, you had those three, you were good to go. Every holiday.
I think CBS credits Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as their longest continuous running Christmas TV. It doesn't come on any other channel. It doesn't come on any other network or any other cable channel. It only comes on CBS every year.
Yeah, they've got it locked down. I wonder who made that deal. Like the forever deal.
Couldn't have been
so
less
over 60 years. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's like from 1964 to
You
present
can
day.
get it on like DVD or whatever now, but for
Well,
most
yeah,
people,
but I'm saying-
why bother? You know it's going to be on every single year, so yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
what's your favorite Charlie Brown special? Mine would have to be The Great Pumpkin.
The Great Pumpkin.
I got a rock.
I would agree with the Great Pumpkin because if we're talking holiday specials, there were Charlie Brown specials about a bazillion other things. If you look through the list, there's probably like 100 Charlie Brown specials.
Right.
Charlie Brown Arbor Day. Yeah.
But with that being said, your favorite might be The Great Pumpkin. But when it comes to a Charlie Brown Christmas, how many times do you go to somebody's house and they got like a sad, sad looking Christmas tree, and everybody says, "Hey man, what's up with that Charlie Brown Christmas tree with the one ornament that's hanging in the top branch?"
If someone's got an awesome carving of a pumpkin, you never say, "Hey, look at that great pumpkin."
But if you got a sad, pathetic, especially remember that 1996 is credited as our loneliest Christmas. The lowest. I was down. Big Tom was down. Ralphie was drinking at like 8 in the morning. Vodka
and orange juice.
and orange juice.
Yeah.
Champions.
We had a sad Christmas.
Yeah. It had nerve to get a tree. That tree was so bare.
It was a Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
I think the Charlie Brown tree would have been a step up from what we had.
It was bad. We spent Christmas morning at a pool hall.
Frank, at the pool hall.
And then we went to JJ Norris because it was the only thing open.
Yeah.
And it was
For
a
a
buffet. We got one plate, sat down, and Tom said, "I left my leather jacket at the pool hall," and we had to leave and go back.
Yeah.
So that's it. We got one plate, and it was like, however much it was. I remember it was like that was like
$6.99 or
yeah, and I was like,
$8.99.
damn, we were broke. So I was like, I had $10, and I figured we could eat a lot of food at the buffet for $10.
There you go.
I got one plate. We had to leave.
Yeah. Oh boy, sad
Christmas
times.
'96.
Thanks for bringing us down. Let's bring this back up and talk about Frosty the Snowman and the magic hat that brought him to life.
I love that.
Yeah, that was a great one, man. Now, Frosty the Snowman, did the song come first or did the...
Ooh, I think...
The song had to come first, right? Or was it made for the movie? I have no idea.
I think it was made for the movie. It's like...
Because when they were putting Frosty together, they was doing it step by step.
It was an incredibly long song.
All that stuff.
And when I was a little kid and I was in the caroling chorus, we only sang like the first 3 parts of Frosty because, it's like an hour-long song. So they had to make it for the show.
No, they didn't. It came out way before the show.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, to tie it together with the pre-show chatter, it was a single in like 1951 by Jimmy Durante.
Jimmy Durante. He was the narrator.
So that's why he was the narrator, because he did the song
He did the song. There we go.
Because the Frosty the Snowman came out in 1969.
Correct.
And you're saying that song came out in 50 what?
1950.
Yeah, you learn something every day.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Well, that's what this show is all about. We're all about educating the kids.
Or
If you
going
don't-
to bed.
It was a
Without
Gene
the
Autry
interest.
tune, as was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So Gene Autry had the corner on the Christmas tune market there for a while.
I heard a little story about Gene Autry and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They said his advisors and his agent and the people at the record company were saying, "Don't make the song. It's so stupid. It's just going to ruin you." And his wife said, "You have to make it. It's a wonderful song." And he did it because his wife said so. And it turned out to be a big hit. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that story many years ago.
Well, if it is true, it's only one of the few times that it worked out.
And Wesley Snipes said it in White Men Can't Jump. Always listen to the woman.
Yeah, it didn't work out for...
Especially when she says pay your taxes. Yeah.
Well, all right. Come on now.
It didn't work out for Billy Ho.
Well, that's because he didn't listen to the woman. He went his own way.
What he said is, if I'm thirsty, I would appreciate it if somebody would give me a glass of water.
And what she said is, if I'm thirsty, I want you to empathize with my thirst.
I'd rather have a glass of water.
You don't listen to the woman. Hey, Kurt, did you know this? The Cowboys and Lions have played on Thanksgiving every year except 2 for the last half century.
You know what? Not only did I know that, I actually, for years and years, I wondered, why are we subjected to watching these horrible Detroit Lions?
Because nobody wants to watch them during the year.
It was always the early game. Always the early game. And you're stuck watching the Lions lose year after year. I'm like, what deal did they make that they got? And when
shout out to Frank in the
Detroit. Right, shout out to Frank in Detroit. When I actually did a little bit of research on it, they said because the city, because the Detroit Tigers were actually pretty good and pretty popular, and they got a lot of they were watching good ratings when because they were winners.
Yeah,
they weren't really watching the Lions, so the owner made a deal and it was like for this Thursday Thanksgiving game, and it was like a damn near a lifetime deal. They were like because at that time football was for Sunday. It wasn't for Thursday.
Right.
Well, what's funny is the players used to gripe and grouse all the time about playing on Thursday. And the Lions and Cowboys we have to do it every year. And you don't know what it's like. You don't have time to recover. Now every team, because of Thursday Night Football, is at one time or another subjected to playing a Thursday night game.
Yeah. We completely lost
Frank.
Frank.
The Lions for that.
You know what? I wish Detroit had a hockey team called the Bears.
Yeah.
So they'd have the Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Oh my!
Oh my!
Yeah, Chicago already had them. You couldn't do it.
I know. Yeah. But that's an awesome segue into this. When did they start playing The Wizard of Oz during the holidays?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when I was a kid, it would only come on once a year on TV. There's big announcements. And the other movie that, because my mother loved it, I didn't watch it, was Gone with the Wind. Well, that's too little for Gone with the Wind.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, they weren't on at the same time. It was just commercial saturation that it was coming on.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody would tune in. And that was a big event. You could call that a special.
You know what? Yeah. It's almost like, I know this is the segue, but there are definitely, let's say, holiday-based or themed movies that do come out, and they have turned into modern classics. Correct. You got movies like Elf, where it's going to get played every Christmas.
That movie's only 10 years old.
Yeah,
right?
You got Home Alone that gets played every Christmas.
That's true.
You get
Die Hard.
a Christmas Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yeah.
Die Hard. You get a Christmas. You'll shoot your eye out. There are so many people. There's so many people who don't know the name of that movie. They don't actually know the name of the movie, but they know every scene with the kid getting his tongue stuck on the flagpole with it's fragile.
But A Christmas Story's gotten obnoxious because now they got channels showing it 24 hours a day through Christmas.
I know.
Yeah.
End to end, and that's annoying.
Harper fact, that was one of the few videotapes that we owned. That was the actual, I don't know, my mom bought A Christmas Story, and we actually used to watch it all the time. Back in 86.
And also, again, holiday themed because it's Halloween. They would play those Halloween movies. Halloween, Friday the 13th.
In a row, baby. Freddy.
Jason.
Well, they even showed once on TV, I remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They had edited so much.
What was it,
you
10
couldn't
minutes?
You couldn't even follow the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, so much.
There's not
You
that
literally
much in that. It's all that gross, but
I was just about to say.
But you'd see
It's intense,
Leatherface
so
slam the door, and then they're in a van, and then someone's running through the house.
Yeah.
You couldn't even follow the story they had edited. So
Narrated by Dan Fielding.
Dan Fielding.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many horror movies, but there's only those choice few that get that continuous play.
Correct.
Now, of course, you have that week where it's like Fright Fest week, where they just put they'll put garbage horror movies on, just to try to scare you.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Phantasm. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Phantasm rules.
That was good. We got to back up and hit that reference though. The John Larroquette narrating the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. You remember the episode of Night Court where he was in the hotel room with the crazy movie infatuated lady?
Yes, I do. I do. And she would reenact quotes and stuff like that from movies.
Right. So he finds out about that and he turns on the TV to try to get her distracted. It's like, now back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he freaks out and he turns it off.
That's
like,
good.
That's
good.
Very meta.
I like it. Meta back when
early meta,
yeah. was.
80s meta.
80s meta.
Oh man. Well, I tell you what. Frank, I bet you are fantastic with this. Treehouse of Horror episodes.
Oh, The Simpsons.
Wow. Yeah.
They do one every single year, right?
They're on 30. This year's the 30th, I think.
Yeah. And they're fantastic, all of them.
Yeah,
I watch them any chance I get.
I love it when they I don't know how recent it was, but they started
they're
playing
good
those
because
during Halloween.
Those Halloween specials, you can watch those out of order because they don't go with the normal
with the
continuity of...
Does the show have continuity?
It does have continuity. You could tell in the show because when they're talking about, they'll put in current events in the show or political things. So that's how you know you're watching something from the 90s when they're talking about Clinton.
Well, yeah, I know that. But they'll still... Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, that's I'm saying when you're watching the Treehouse of Horror, it's just...
Yeah. I mean, they'll have something from the day they're...
I mean, you'll tell by the animation if you say, ooh, this is Bart's looking a little funny. That was kind of old.
That was early.
That was early.
Well, you remember where they started? Was it the Gary Shandling show?
Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman. And the animation was just horrible.
Well, it was a short at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, for a sketch comedy show.
And the thing was, it wasn't funny. I watched it, and it was weird. And then there's like Simpsons is coming out with their own show. I was like,
you know what the funny thing is, though? That was something that the bit players on the Tracy Ullman would do for that skit. Tracy Ullman was the big deal. Obviously, it was a Tracy Ullman show. 30 years later, you know, they're still working. They're still doing voiceover.
And Tracy Ullman has been working. I just saw her on
she has a Tracy
the
Ullman
Daily Show.
Yeah.
She's got she's got a show.
But the Treehouse of Horrors, I mean, they didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, but they didn't do it the very first season of The Simpsons, but from the second season to today. Because the first episode was the Treehouse of Horror.
They must have done one early because I say the thing I saw said it was 30 and Simpsons started in 89. This is 2018, so either it's not really the 30th or they started right away.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because they did the 30th. The Christmas show came before the actual show.
Okay.
Right, the Christmas before the Simpsons started, they had the Simpsons Christmas special.
Yeah.
Back on subject here. So I think that was the very first thing we saw after Tracy Ullman was the Simpsons Christmas special.
Yeah, because
he did the Jingle Bells Batman Smells thing and all that stuff. That was huge.
Right.
Yeah, because the actual first episode, Treehouse of Horror, aired October 1990, October 25th, 1990.
Right on.
1990. Okay.
As part of the second season. And it was inspired by EC Comics Horror Tales. I did not know that. I vaguely remember EC Comics.
Oh, EC Comics. Well, they're Mad Magazine, but DC somehow got their grips into them in the 70s and 80s and reprinted many of the stories in House of Secrets, House of Mysteries. I used to read it and think, this is fantastic horror, and I'd see a little text box.
You actually talked about that like, God, this was
a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago.
Well, it would have a little box in the opening of the story. It says, reprinted from Vault of Horror. Tells us
I remember back in the day just going right past those books.
Oh, they were fantastic.
I was solely superhero books. I saw that stuff. I looked at them covers. I was like, that's not for me.
A severed head dripping in blood.
252.
Adonis, pull yourself together.